Hey everybody, JC the Sniper here once again, and today I've got something a little bit different. Another blade review, but this time it's a dive knife. Haven't done any reviews of any dive knives yet, but this is one that I've been using for a while and I really like it, so do a little bit of talking about this. First of all, philosophy of use obviously is a dive knife. This one you could definitely use as a tactical blade, but probably not a survival blade. I mean, maybe a survival blade, but I wouldn't say it's the best for that. And, you know, basically it's just a dive knife. It is, however, good for a lot of applications in diving. It's got this serrated back spine for cutting a line quickly, and obviously a long run of straight edge and a cord cutter. So it's kind of got some nifty features there. Size, got a 5.5, or actually that's not true, 6.5 inch blade surface, and then, you know, a unsharpened portion here, but 6.5 inch blade. I think it's a 7 inch blade overall, but only 6.5 inches of sharpened blade. So it's a decent size. Here's a K-bar. So you can see there, not quite as long as a K-bar, probably an inch shorter. K-bar has a 7.5 inch blade. So shorter than the K-bar, also thinner blade length. Not as thick. So not as tough or as big as a K-bar, but it's getting there. And a lot of people don't need a knife that big for diving. It's just not necessarily necessary. However, I like this for what I do with it. I do a lot of cutting rope, and I like this long run of unbroken serration back here. Just because I do a lot of cutting rope with it, and this is excellent for cutting nylon rope that you often use in for applications underwater or around water, in water, whatever. So that's excellent for cutting it. I don't know the exact number for the weight, but it's not a very heavy knife. It's fairly light, and the sheath is extremely light. Just plastic, nothing special, but it's fairly light. Also, it has, you know, holes and stuff to drain, which is nice. We'll talk about that in a second. Fairly light knife. Certainly once you get in the water with it, it's light. Nothing that's gonna, you know, weigh you down overly much. You don't even notice it when it's strapped on. So I don't think the weight is a problem. Blade shape and steel. It's just a basic clip point blade. I really like the blade though, because you've got this long run of straight edge and a little, you know, cable cutter job there, and then also a long run of serrations. So you get kind of the best of both, because, you know, with a combo edge knife like this right here, Gerber pear frame, you get a small section of serrations and a small section of straight, and I find that makes both of them equally useless. You know, you can use it, and I have used these a lot, but I don't like it because I like to have a long section of straight stuff for cutting things sometimes, and if I want to cut a thick rope or something, it's not, you know, sawing back and forth on that, it's just not very effective. So if you get a long run of serrations like this, you can just cut once and go through it, or if you have to, you can actually get some sawing action going because you have a long enough section of serrations to do that. Blade steel is not the best. It's just a 420 stainless, so not a great steel, but it doesn't rust. Very rust resistant, or, you know, reasonably rust resistant. I don't have a problem with it rusting. I don't take it in salt water, but it's held up well for me. Haven't had a problem with rusting, and it's been submerged quite a bit. Strength is good. It's a full tang blade. Goes all the way down here, screws in here. You can take this blade apart by twisting this off. This is a nut here that twists off, and then you pop these two pins out, and the blade will slide out of the handle to clean it and such. So that's kind of cool. Full tang blade. I like full tang. You know, gives it good strength. So I think the strength of this knife is excellent. The handle material, this is just plastic and rubber. This may be Kraton rubber, but you know, this is just standard plastic. It's not FRN or G10 or anything, just plastic. So a little bit cheap, but I'm not too worried about that for what it is. Kraton handle, like I said, Kraton or rubber, whatever. And the ergonomics are actually really good. You can see the curvature here. It locks in nicely into your hand, very nicely. I like it a lot. You know, deep finger choil up here that just loops all the way around your finger, and a nice tall thumb ramp or guard up here. So if you grip it like this and pull this against a rope, you can get a good grip on it. You know, a couple more finger grooves there, and a nice raised back spine, so it lays nicely in your palm. It fits excellently. This knife has some of the best ergonomics I've ever had in a fixed blade. I'm very impressed with that. Also, you know, good thumb ramp for if you want to hold it like this. A little bit of jimping there, which is okay, not the best, but with the height of this thumb ramp, you don't really need it all that much, because it locks your hand in good, especially with these other finger grooves. So, very nice lock in there. You can go for a reverse grip if you want. It locks in good that way. I don't know really why you'd want a reverse grip with a dive knife unless you're, you know, for some reason using it for some sort of defensive purpose, but it's a dive knife. Unless you're a Navy SEAL, you shouldn't be encountering too much resistance underwater in your operations. So I don't think that's, you know, all that big of a deal. But good handle, good grip. Locks in nicely. I really like the ergonomics. It feels excellent in hand. Very light blade, feels quick, easy to maneuver. Good control with the lockup that you get with your grip here on the blade. So very good control there. And one of the most important elements of a dive knife, I think, is its sheath. This one's kind of cheap. It's just plastic, but it has a very good lock-in system. Knife clips in good like this. Doesn't pull out, and all you have to do is depress this button with your index finger. Knife slides right out. So it's similar to the Serpa retention holsters for firearms. You just grip it right there, push the button, and it slides right out. So I like that because it locks in securely, but you can still get it out quickly with the button. I've seen some dive knives which lock in securely but have a very complicated system of extracting them. I don't find that to be the case with this, and I've never had trouble with losing it. It holds in nice and tight. I don't think it's going to come out ever while I'm swimming around, so I like that. Good release, good retention, excellent job with that sheath. Also has some drainage holes, so the water will drain out of the sheath if you well, if you get it wet, when you get it wet. And it's wide enough that the sheath is not in contact with the blade, so it's not holding water against the blade. It's allowed to run around the blade, which is a nice design. Also very streamlined, which is good, not likely to catch on anything. And just a couple of loops in the back for the rubber straps which come with it, to strap it to your leg. And that's what I do with it. I find that it works excellently. This is the Divemaster, I believe the model is Super Assault. They also have a shorter version, but I can't remember the name of that. Maybe it's just the Assault, you know, with like a 5-inch blade. So I think both knives are excellent. I paid 20 bucks for this one. So even though it's just a 420 stainless steel blade, I think 20 bucks for a knife of that size and these ergonomic qualities and for what you get with the blade, I think that's an excellent price. So the Divemaster Super Assault, I'm going to say, is an excellent value in the diving blade. JC the Sniper, signing off.